We'll live in interesting times. Today's stories. In Burundi, protests in Bujumbura erupts against a UN report. Return of military service divides Moroccans. Hurricane Florence dumps epic amounts of rainfall across the eastern U.S. and brings catastrophic flooding. North Carolina resident films flooding after Florence. Residents are rescued by boat after storm surge flooding. National Guard soldiers help with evacuation of a medical center. Plus, Sugar Rush 5K runners taste sweet victory. Hello everyone, I am Rose Papa Angeles, bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Crowds march in Burundi's capital in a demonstration organized by the government to protest against the conclusion of a report by the UN Human Rights Council. Published on September 5, the report states that serious human rights violations, including crimes against humanity, continued in Burundi in 2017 and 2018, fueled by President Pierre Nkurunziza's recurrent hate speech.
Twajana kugira ngo twiyamirize babacangira batatu batanga raporo zirementanya zo kuvuga ko mu gihugu cyacu ari ihonyabwoko hari intambara n'umutekano muke twaje kugira ngo tubereke neza ko atamutekano muke dufise. Abanyagihugu twashavuye, abanyagihugu twaratse, uwiyumvira kudusubiza inyuma nta mwanya tumuha, ntitumwemerera. Twebwe abarundi bose twahagurutse kandi twaratse n'igihugu cyose sigisagara cya Bujumbura.
Ikintu kibabaje giteye ubwoba kidakogwa, barubahutse batagira isoni ku maso, batamaramara, batagishije inama, barahangara na nyeri cyubahiro Perezida Nkurunziza atwara Uburundi.
Burundi threatened Friday to quit the UN Human Rights Council over perceived politicization following a report pointing to crimes against humanity in the country. A presidential source made the warning as a government delegation arrived in Geneva to make a presentation on Monday following the publication last month of a UN report into human rights in the landlocked East African nation. The UN Commission of Inquiry on Burundi reported that there were reasonable grounds to believe the Burundi government was committing crime against humanity, warning these and other serious rights violations were continuing unabated, in part due to hate speech by President Pierre Nkurunziza. UN investigators found many violations were committed by the intelligence services, police, and army, as well as the ruling parties in Imbonerakure Youth Wing. Burundi has rejected the findings. Presidential spokesman Willy Nyamitwe said Friday the delegation led by Minister for Human Rights Maureen Nivyabandi would meet newly appointed UN rights head and former Chilean President Michelle Bachelet. Nyamitwe said the delegation intends to meet with a new High Commissioner and expects things to progress more positively than previously because, first of all, she is an experienced former head of state who understands well state concerns, and a lady has more humanity in her than a man. He added that Burundi expects much from the talks. Last year, the UN body elected to send, with the support of its African Working Group and with Burundi's support, 3 experts to the country to work in cooperation with the government on bringing to justice human rights abusers. But this week, the UNHCR said the trio were unable to visit the East African nation as the authorities had canceled their visas in April, just 3 weeks before they were due to visit. Nyamitwe has insisted they were mercenaries following a Western agenda. Burundi plunged into crisis in 2015 after Nkurunziza sought a fiercely contested third term in office that his opponents said was unconstitutional. Turmoil since then has killed at least 1,200 people and has forced 400,000 to flee their homes, triggering an investigation by the International Criminal Court, which Burundi last year became the first nation to leave. Some view it as gainful employment for youths with too much free time, others as a tool to blunt protest movements. Moroccans are divided over the looming return of military service. 12 years after conscription was scrapped, the Royal Palace announced in mid-August that compulsory military service would be restored. Millions of Moroccans aged 19 to 25, male and female, are likely to have to serve for a year.
انا مشيت على حساب التجنيد الاجباري، مشيت انا ندافع على اول حاجه غندافع على الاسره ديالي، هي اول حاجه. ثاني حاجه غادي نقدم شحال من حاجه للبلاد ديالي. ما انا كنمشي ندافع على البلاد ديالي، وحور انا مغربي. تكون بان يتبع بالقرايته هي الاولى، غادي يشوف ديك الساعه واش يمكن يبغي يدير خدمه عسكريه ولا لا. واصلا ما خصهاش تكون فهمتي ضروره. الا فهمتي الا بغيتي كما كيكونوا على دول على برا، ما كاينش زعما ضروري دير خدمه اجباريه ولا تمشي للحبس. بالنسبه لي انا بديت القرايه باش نساليها، باش نخدم، باش نعاون والديا، ماشي باش نمشي للتجنيد. بحال هكا كتجبر لي، ما موافقش عليها. بلاد بزاف مريح، نسبه البطاله كثيره بزاف، انه غيساعد الانسان على ديك الخدمه العسكريه ديك. Je ne pense
pas que ça peut être applicable à tout le monde parce que par exemple des gens qui ont leurs études, qui bossent ou qui étudient à l'étranger, enfin je trouve pas ça très constructif pour eux qui devraient arrêter leurs études ou venir après leurs études au lieu de commencer directement dans leur vie active à rentrer faire un service militaire au Maroc. Je pense pas que ce soit quelque chose qui va beaucoup leur.
The bill's current draft grants exemptions for students, the physically unfit, and those who are raising children, but Parliament is yet to debate the text. If passed in its current form, prison sentences ranging from a month to a year will await those who refuse to answer the call of duty. The bill has whipped up controversy as people question the fate of dual nationals and the relevance of national service to young people's needs. Dissenters have created a Facebook group that is urging the government to reverse course. So far, 4,000 people have joined. Some suspect the growth of protest movements explains the government's fresh enthusiasm for military service. The underdeveloped Rif region was rocked by demonstrations in 2016 and 2017. In June, a court jailed over 50 of the protesters for terms ranging from 1 to 20 years. People have also protested against unemployment in Jarada in the northeast and over water shortages in the south. Political commentator Mohammed Shakir said conscription is a tool to tame young people who have been driving the force of protest movements. There is a historical precedent. Morocco first brought in compulsory military service in 1966, a year after bloody riots. Back then, student leaders considered instigators of rebellion were among the first draftees. Up next, catastrophic flooding brought by Hurricane Florence. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Gusts of wind and torrential rain caused extensive damage in North Carolina after Hurricane Florence. This video posted on Instagram shows flooding around a house on Smyrna Beach.
Oh, shit. How do we even begin to... Where do we start?
Getting all the good stuff out. There's some boots in here.
Residents of North Carolina are rescued by boat after heavy rain and flooding.
Mike, you want all the way up here? Yeah, up there somewhere.
North Carolina National Guard soldiers help with the evacuation of victims of Hurricane Florence from a medical center. Coming up, Sugar Rush 5K runners taste sweet victory. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. I am Rose Papa Angeles. Eagle News correspondent J. Rosquitas takes us to Sugar Rush 5K run where participants taste sweet victory at the finish line. Literally.
Runners gathered at Gadsden Park in Tampa to take part in a themed 5K run known as the Sugar Rush.
We have events located all across the country, and at every event location we have our local charity partners, and basically we just aim to help them raise funds, raise awareness for their cause. So here in Tampa, our partner is Kids Campaign Organization.
The event was sponsored by Superfly Running, a nationwide organization who aims to help local charities in their cause.
The Sugar Rush is just it's geared towards like casual runners, you know, people that want to get out and have fun and do something family oriented, do something outside, do something fitness oriented. And then the sugar is just kind of an incentive to get everybody out here.
The organization commonly launches themed runs in different locations around the nation. Here in Tampa, the theme was the Krispy Kreme Challenge.
Every single mile marker, 1, 2, and 3, there's a donut waiting for every runner and one at the finish. That's 4 donuts total.
Some runners came out as regulars, and some came out for the first time.
This is my first run ever.
It's my first run too, ever.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun and everybody's really supportive and
everyone's super sweet.
It's just something that's fun to do, and this isn't like a serious race to where everybody's competing and everybody's trying to win.
Some even came out dressed up to support the event.
It's a fun run, it's for a great cause, and we try to have fun and support and inspire other people to come and have fun along with us. And that's one reason why you see me dressed up.
The some 200 runners ended their morning with a victory at the finish line and medals placed around their neck.
I think that everyone should get involved, and if there's a cause involved, that you should do it, you know, just to support the community and to support whatever the cause is. Even if you're, you know, there's some runs that you just do a donation, well, donate what's on your heart, you know, to try to support all the charities and all the agencies that's out there putting on these events.
The goal is to create something mutually beneficial, right? So Superfly Running is a for-profit company. There's a sense of giving back and, you know, we want to partner with people that are going to make a difference. So not only are we putting on our events, we want to make sure that they're for a cause and that they're going to end up helping people out. So, I mean, it's extremely important.
And that's it for the Sugar Rush 5K. Crossing the finish line was definitely a sweet victory. I'm Jay Roskitas signing off from Tampa, Florida, and I'm always one with 25.
A donut after running 5 kilometers? Count me in next time. Thank you, Jay. That is today's Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I am Rose Papa Angeles, and I am one with 25.